Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this week's lesson I am going to be talking to you about different papers you can use on the Gelli plate. So in this video I'll demonstrate printing on a heavyweight cartridge paper, Maruishi paper which is very thin, and I've actually layered it on top of the cartridge paper here so you can see that. I've used photocopy paper that comes in your printer that's been dyed with tea and onion skins. I've also used wet strength tissue paper and book pages. So they are my top 5 papers that I like to use on the Gelli plate. So if you want to follow along, let's get started. Okay, so I have my roller here. If you want to know the size, it's a 15cm one. So I've got a couple just so I can change colours. So I've got a mixture of paints, so I'll probably start off with this manganese blue. It's an open acrylics, which is a bit longer drying time, but I'm not worried about that too much today. It's just to like the colour. So I'm just gonna start off with that nice bright colour. It's quite a transparent paint, this one. We'll just get going. Put some stencils down. Try and fill some of these areas with some texture. Sticking with the organic shapes. So I'm going to start off with this. This is called the Maruishi paper. It's very thin. You can see it's picked up the paint through the back of it there. Now this paper is better for picking up details. So I've used that where there's quite a lot of paint. Okay, so I'll leave that one to the side just now. I'm going to take a wet strength now. And we should still be able to get quite a lot of paint. This is called the ghost print. So the wet strength paper is really good for picking up, and it doesn't go through the back like that one did. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is a different colour. Try some of the Titan Buff. Just going to swap my roller. Okay, so we'll try some of my hand-dyed paper for this one, so it's got a nice tone. This is just a regular copy paper, remember, and I dyed that with, I think that was tea bags, to get that nice soft vintage look that I really love. Yeah, that's really nice. So I might try putting the Maruishi paper on top of that one now, see if it'll pick up the last of that detail. Oops. So with the open acrylics you have got longer to work with the paint than you would normally, and it's quite a warm day in the studio today, so these are going to work well. Yeah, that's picked up all the last detail there. I'll put it on top of a white piece so you can see that. Very fine detail. So that was the first print and there was too much paint, I'd say. And that was the one that I think what these papers work well for is picking up the very fine detail. Okay, so I'll try again. I think I'm just going to stick to the open paints today because of the temperature in here. I'm not going to clean my roller in between, I'm just going to mix these two colours together. So this is a very opaque colour the teal, which means you can't see through it. So you'll notice the difference this time. So a lot of paint, but it's not coming through the paper. So it's got a different quality to the Maruishi. That's it. It's quite a good print. So there's still quite a lot of paint left on there. So I think what I might do is take that first layer, which was on the Maruishi, and just take a second print in a slightly different area, just to move the design. To get a bit of layering going on. So it does hold up, it's not going to rip, even though that's getting quite wet. You can see that's the Maruishi. Down here. I might try section paper. Still quite a lot of paint there, isn't there? Still had a little bit of paint left on my roller, so I'm just seeing if I can blend these two a little. Slightly different print going on there. Try some of that green. So I think I'm going to try that on the cartridge paper, which is slightly heavier. Okay, so you get a very different print on the different papers, so that's what you've got to be aware of, that you're going to depend on what result you're after. And I love the iridescent quality of that paint. Now I think I'm just going to see if I can pick up that last layer on here, see if I can. It's nice for layering. Okay, doke, might try going for a wee darker tone. So you can kind of blend and mix your paint, just getting a softer tone there. Not quite so straight out of the tube, which I'll try and avoid. this tree stencil here. I've not tried that. I might give that a go. So this is going to be like a silhouette. So it's a wet strength tissue. So that might be nice layered over the top of something like that with the writing coming through, you see. So I used the student grade acrylic there, so it's not got such a long drying time, so you'll notice the difference. It's not picking up all the paint as easily. It's a little bit drier, that paint. It's a different paper again. And when you dye it, it does change the sort of consistency of the paper. Makes it a bit more fragile. I quite like that. I think I'm going to clean that. So you can just give it a clean with baby wipes in between if you want to get rid of something. Okay. And then dry it off. Those are quite dry anyway. I'm not so keen on that colour actually. I think I'm going to change it. So you can just roll off any colour you don't like on the scrap of paper at the side. I'll try some of this lighter Titan green pale. I've actually got some stamps here. I might just put some, to give it a bit of variety. I'll put the links for these below. This was an American company. I think it's PM Artist Studios, but I could be wrong. So I will double check that and put the link below because they are really nice stamps and stencils. I'm not really so very excited about this one, so I think I might just print over the top. Yeah, a bit more interesting. Try. This is the cartridge paper. Okay. There we go. Um, go for quite a thin. So this is the iridescent green, so I'm going to see what it looks like if I layer that on top. I think that was a fail, and I've lost the iridescence because it's quite a matte paint. So you kind of win some, you lose some, I think. What I could try and do is take that back with a baby wipe if I really wanted to get that underprint back again. Try and lift it back, and because it's a thicker paper, you've got a bit of time to. These are bone dry. It's not really helping. So all is not lost. I managed to pull it back a wee bit. Still got a little bit of iridescence there. So, wait a minute. So I think this one needs something. So what would be nice with that would be something this layered on top. So I might just show you that with a bit of matte medium to see what I mean. Might not be quite dry as it is. It takes a wee bit longer to dry that paint. I'll just give you an idea. So it works really well for layering the Maruishi paper. These delicate layers. Okay, so I think I've shown you all the papers now. I'll just lay them out and let you see them. Nicely at the end. I hope that's given you some pointers if you're not sure what papers to buy for trying out your jelly plate. I would just start with what you've got to hand, which is generally the copy paper out of your printer. And if you can order the wet strength, Carnival wet strength, I would try and get some of that. There we go, beautiful. I like that. Okay. Thank you for watching to the end. I really appreciate that, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the best papers to use on a jelly plate. It really depends on the purpose of the prints that you're using them for, so just have a think about how you're going to be using them. Are you going to be layering them, or is it going to be more like a finished painting? You need something a bit sturdier. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'll see you next time. Okay everyone, bye for now.